To Be Hero X is incredible. From its stellar animation, spectacular action sequences, heartfelt characters, and an amazing story to tie it all together, To Be Hero X has proven itself to be more than worthy of the hype it has gotten. But that's not what I want to talk about today. What I want to talk about today is one thing that's animation from China, aka Donghua, please ignore this part of its naming convention, the anime has seemingly forgotten. What is it? Well, my curious friend, what it is the anime has lost is something I will tell you in a minute. Just take a journey with me for a moment. If we head back in time a couple of years, you will notice that the anime industry was a very different landscape. It was like the Wild Wild West, with pioneers and prospectors searching the land for the next gold mine of storytelling. And gold mines they did find by creating some of the most incredible stories ever told in the history of storytelling. Dragon Ball, Hunter x Hunter, Naruto, Bleach, One Piece, Black Clover, Cowboy Bebop, Fullmetal Alchemist, so on and so forth. The list is incredibly long, and I don't want to go on a tangent here. But what I do want to highlight is what all of the anime of this era had in common. I'll let them tell you themselves.
From now on, I'm gonna work my butt off to become Hokage! Thanks, everybody! I'm gonna be the best hunter in the world! I decided long ago that I'm gonna be king of the pirates. If I have to die fighting for that, then I die.
This is what anime of the past always had in common. The ambition to become something no one ever thought possible. The drive to accomplish a goal so outrageously out of reach. The passion to believe in oneself no matter what the world says about you. Fast forward to anime of today and we get things have changed drastically. Anime has taken to telling stories that are about dread, pain, and hopelessness. While anime of the past was about perseverance, grit, determination, the almost pathological belief that we'll make it, anime has now gone in the exact opposite direction. But this is where To Be Hero X comes in. If you haven't paid attention, this Donghua has managed to captivate the hearts of millions. And rightfully so, because underneath its exterior of action and power fantasies, there is more to the story than just that. It's a story about people. It's a story about hardship, resilience, and determination. This Donghua's mere existence reminded me of what it felt like to be motivated, to be told that my dreams were more than just dreams. This animation reminded me of how I felt when I first watched Naruto or Hunter x Hunter. The belief that these stories planted in my soul that I could accomplish anything I put my heart into was undescribable. And I wish anime didn't forget this part of its identity. I just wish every story wasn't about dread and pain now. And I wish To Be Hero X wasn't the animation that has what anime has lost. Now, I would like to end the video here, but I'm not quite done yet. You see, during my time rambling here, I didn't mention one very crucial thing. It's not as easy as I made it out to be. Anime of the past was never just rainbows and sunshine. Of course, the vast majority of stories centered around heroes that wanted to accomplish their goals no matter how unbelievable it was. There were also quite a number of anime that said the exact opposite. And this rings true for anime of this generation as well, except the major difference between anime of then and now is how the roles of storytelling have been reversed. Whereas stories of inspiration and hope were the mainstream and dark ones were the exception, everything has been flipped on its head now. Which begs the question, why? What changed between then and now? Well, a lot. But there is one thing I could narrow down that caused this reverse in storytelling in anime. And that's not what has changed in the world, but how the world has changed. You see, 20 or so years ago, the world was a vastly different place. Though the World War had ended many decades past, the world was still healing, still traumatized, yet still closely knit. Despite the horrors of the past, people chose to believe in people. The world was a much better place in terms of camaraderie and friendship. And this translated into the stories being told in this era. J.R.R. Tolkien wrote a book about the goodness in mankind. Akira Toriyama drew a manga that valued friendships and relationships. Fast forward a couple of decades and we enter the world's most prosperous age. With the booming economy and the rise of technology, there was much ambition, discovery, and the spirit of accomplishing insane goals was burning in every entrepreneur's heart. This is the era that gave birth to the stories of progression and unwavering resolve. Anime like Hunter x Hunter, Naruto, and One Piece were products of this time period, a time that believed the world could be conquered, and tomorrow would be better. That sounds like quite a dream, doesn't it? But, as we've all come to learn, things didn't pan out that way.
Poverty rate is expected to jump from 13.2% to almost 15%.
Every day, on average, 2 people die from a drugs overdose here.
And it looks like the tsunami has engulfed several cities.
With a flashlight to the cash register, the owner says he stole a couple $100s of their hard-earned money.
The world isn't such a pretty place anymore, and everyone can see that. With economies collapsing, crime rising, wars breaking out, capitalism bleeding the world dry for the sake of a few while the rest suffer, it's not a surprise our stories have gotten darker. It's obvious the world has become very unfair. At this point, we're not far from the dystopian worlds depicted in anime like Cyberpunk. The world has changed, and still have the lenses through which we see it. This is reflected in the stories being told now, which sucks. I can understand that the world always seems to have gotten worse, but why do we need to be reminded of it wherever we go? One could say that stories like these teach us to temper our expectations, to find joy in the small things, and to accept the world for what it is. That is, to be happy with our lives instead of trying to break a system that has been rigged from the get-go. While this is a valuable lesson, it's also kind of crushing. We as a civilization didn't come this far by accepting our circumstances, and never trying to be anything more. Where would we be if heroes of the past hadn't done the hard work, if they hadn't pushed beyond the unthinkable and changed the world? No matter how bleak or impossible their ambitions were, they fought tooth and nail every day to make sure they accomplished their goals. Where would we be if we didn't have heroes? Where are my heroes in storytelling? Where are my heroes in anime? It shouldn't come as a shock to anyone that hope and perseverance have touched so many hearts. It's defined a generation, it's pushed people to accomplish their dreams, and have changed lives. For crying out loud, it changed mine. Naruto taught me to believe in myself, to trust others, and to chase my dreams no matter what. This might sound stupid in this day and age, but what's so wrong with having hope? To Be Hero X brings back these heroes, and reminds us that the fight is still worth fighting for. Just one glance at the comment section of its opening theme, and you will see it has rekindled passion and hope in so many people. Stories have a way of impacting lives. We need to be reminded that we can still make a difference, and that no matter the odds, we can win if we tried and believed hard enough. No matter how silly you think it is, a simple spark can cause a roaring flame. We need stories like these once again. We need stories that don't just reflect how the world is, but how it could be. We need to believe in ourselves once again, and maybe, just maybe, because of a story, we can rewrite ours. Is the video over? Oh, you're still here. Right, of course you are. Well, I just want to say thank you for watching. The topic of this video has been sitting in my head for over 2 years now, and I'm very happy to have finally gotten out there. Since you've watched this video this far, I'd like to assume you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do hit the like button as it helps my channel, and do consider subscribing if you'd like to see more of my videos when I upload. But don't expect me to have this animation thingamajig in my next videos. I'm not really a good drawer. I was just trying things out. Anywho, that's enough of me babbling on. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I do hope to see you next time. Bye.